Breaking news on ABC 17 News at 9 on Fox 22. Right now, a several-hour-long standoff with police and an armed suspect, possibly armed, in Central Columbia has just ended. You are taking a live look at the scene on Jewell Avenue, and the University of Missouri also has suspended point guard Terrence Phillips. ABC 17 Sports Director Andrew Kaufman will have details on that in a moment and what it means for the team. But first, we're going to go to the standoff in Central Columbia, where police first responded to the 1000 block of Jewell Avenue around 6 o'clock tonight. We told you about it as breaking news at 6:30 over on KMIZ. ABC 17's Alyssa Toomey has been on the scene there. And Alyssa, a suspect has been taken into custody within just the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, the situation developing very, very quickly within the last 15 minutes or so. The scene is not active right now, but police just started leaving moments ago. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see a little bit of what I'm seeing right now. Just one or two police officers, actually it looks like a third up there on scene as well, but moments ago the entire SWAT team was here and crisis negotiation. And the home in question is the home directly in front of the camera that you can see right now, the white home with 3 stories. You can see either members of the SWAT team or officers that are on the 3rd floor right now. And what happened just within the last 15 minutes is that the suspect in question actually came out of that top door that you see open right now. He walked out and police were able to take him into custody. So there wasn't any sort of violent confrontation with police. But let me walk you through what happened before that suspect was taken into custody. Police said that they were called to this area just before 5:30. They were called for reports of a domestic disturbance. When they got here, a female victim said that the man had choked her, and police had heard that there could possibly be weapons in the area, or there were weapons in the home as well. When they got here, they heard what sounded like a shotgun being racked. That's when they stepped back, and that's when the crisis negotiation team and the SWAT team was called in here to assist. Again, that started just before 5:30. The standoff itself ended shortly after 8:30, so about 3 hours now that they were looking at this developing situation. There are a lot of people actually standing around here next to me right now. There was a youth group. Their very first youth group meeting was happening in the church right next to me. Neighbors came out of their homes as well, but everyone in the area was told to evacuate while police were here. There were actually even 2 snipers on the back lawn down there waiting in case there was some sort of violent scenario that happened. Again, we don't have details on the suspect at this time. We are working to learn more about that suspect. Any new developments that we get within the next hour or two, we'll bring those to you on air and online. Live in Columbia, Alyssa Toomey, ABC 17 News.
Now on to the breaking news from the University of Missouri, where Mizzou announces in the last couple hours backup point guard Terrence Phillips is now suspended. ABC 17 Sports Director Andrew Kaufman has been monitoring this story. And Andrew, this comes after 2 of the basketball team's point guards decided to transfer.
Yeah, Mizzou has already lost 2 guards and freshmen C.J. Roberts and Blake Harris, and now Terrence Phillips' status with the team could also be in jeopardy. Now tonight, Mizzou men's basketball released a statement saying, quote, Phillips' future status with the program will be determined in coordination with campus and department leadership. Now, it's still unclear what policy Phillips violated to get himself suspended, but his absence will be felt in tomorrow night's game against Mississippi State. The Tigers down to just 2 main ball handlers, and Jordan Geis and Cassius Robertson. Now, this suspension came as a surprise to many tonight. Head coach Cuonzo Martin has praised the junior guard multiple times this year for his leadership, despite seeing a decreased amount in playing time. Now, this season, Phillips is averaging 3 points in 11 minutes per game. Live in the newsroom, Andrew Kaufman, ABC 17 Sports.
We will continue, of course, to follow the news from the men's basketball team and that standoff, or what was a standoff in Central Columbia. Once we have new details, we will update you in this newscast and online at abc17news.com. Everyone seems to be okay after a crash in South Columbia tonight. This happened at 7 o'clock on East Nifong Boulevard and Buttonwood Drive. The crash involved 2 vehicles. Emergency crews tell us everyone involved refused medical attention. The cause of the crash has not yet been released.
Well, we had a warm day today for January as temperatures reached the low 60s. Now I'm awaiting on a cold front to come in, and that is going to bring a chance of rain tonight. Current Doppler radar shows it is dry. We have dry conditions right now, but if we look farther out to the west-northwest, we'll find that there are some showers developing, and you can see this little line right here. This is out ahead of a cold front, and as that front moves in, it'll pick up a little more moisture from the south and stream it across the area. And you can see that as this cold front does move in, these showers will become more numerous and gradually work their way in the overnight hours. The newest future track at 10 o'clock tonight, we start to see a couple of very light showers developing right along Interstate 44 and another band of very spotty but light rain to the north. These will gradually work their way across mid-Missouri. Only light amounts of rain with this, nothing heavy. In fact, most areas are just going to see anywhere from a few hundredths of an inch of rain to only 2/10. So it's certainly not going to be much of a rainmaker. Nevertheless, you might hear some rain on your roof late tonight. This is 1 in the morning. As the front pushes south, notice the showers become a bit more numerous in the pre-dawn hours in our southeast counties, and then they gradually work their way out. And by 8 in the morning, it's dry, and we see that sun coming out for a very nice day tomorrow. In fact, considering it's late January, the temperatures are going to feel warm. Here is the out-the-door forecast then for Saturday, breaking down your day. It's going to be chilly in the morning with 36 at 8 o'clock, and with sunny skies, and the winds aren't going to be as strong tomorrow. We're looking at lighter winds and temperatures reaching the lower 50s. Sunday is just a little bit cooler, but still nice for this time of year. Sunday will have a few more clouds around as well. Here's the out-the-door forecast for Sunday, starting off at the freezing mark at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you'll need those jackets and heavier coats in the morning. And then as we head into the afternoon hours, we see those temperatures becoming a little bit more comfortable out there. Now, Sunday night, I am watching for the potential of a little bit of snow. Here are the headlines with that. After 8 o'clock in the evening, we have a chance of light snow moving in for Sunday night. The best chance of seeing anything measurable will be north of Interstate 70 because the snow decreases as it moves south. And we might see a small amount, perhaps a dusting in spots as we head into Sunday night. I'm also tracking another system that could bring some snow Thursday coming up at 9:20. I'll show you the timing of that and what it could bring.
Tonight, a Columbia tree trimming company is under investigation after one of its workers fell from a tree. This is the second investigation into Nelson's Tree Service within the last 18 months. ABC 17's Taylor Petras joins me now in studio. And Taylor, we first reported when one of its employees was killed on the job back in 2016.
That's right, Joey. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration fined Nelson's Tree Service more than $17,000 and issued the company 2 citations. An OSHA spokesperson tells me the company is still working to pay that off. Tonight, Nelson's Tree Service is once again under investigation by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. OSHA says the company reported on Wednesday one of its employees fell out of a tree the day before and was taken to the hospital. I spoke to an OSHA spokesperson on the phone today. He tells me the fall happened in Columbia, but didn't have a specific location or how bad the employee's injuries were. I asked what type of penalties Nelson's Tree Service could face. OSHA tells me if a company has 2 of the same violations in a 5-year period, then the fines are increased by tenfold. That means Nelson's could pay up to $170,000 if they're cited again. The company was fined more than $17,000 in 2016 after one of its employees was hit in the head by a branch and then crushed by a falling tree. An OSHA report says employees weren't briefed before each job, and the company failed to protect its employees. Now, by the time we got this investigation confirmed with OSHA, it was after business hours at Nelson's. I did send the company an email asking for comment, but I'm still waiting to hear back tonight. Joey?
Taylor, thank you. OSHA says it'll try to complete the investigation as soon as possible, but says it has 6 months to get it done. In an ABC 17 News crime alert tonight, a man accused of breaking into a home in Fulton is still on the run. Franklin Richmond III is considered armed and dangerous. Police say he and another person broke into a home on Vine Street and attacked the homeowner on Wednesday night. Investigators have not released the name of the second suspect. Anyone with information about them is asked to call the Fulton Police Department. A teenager accused in a shooting in southwest Colombia is now being charged as an adult. Demetrius Shaw is charged with first-degree assault, armed criminal action, and unlawful use of a weapon. The shooting happened back in October in the 4200 block of Bethany Drive, just off of Scott Boulevard. Investigators say Shaw shot a person who had been working with police on a homicide case. Prosecutors have requested Shaw's bond be set at $250,000. Boone County deputies warn of a telephone scam tonight going around mid-Missouri. The sheriff's department says several people have called and say they've gotten calls from someone claiming to be a deputy. Now, the caller threatens arrest if the victim doesn't pay a fine for not showing up for jury duty. You've heard this before, and you should know by now deputies will never call you for payment or threaten your arrest for that sort of thing. If you get a call like this, though, go ahead and call law enforcement. An endangered person advisory is canceled tonight after a woman is reported missing. The Highway Patrol says 37-year-old Kimberly Jo Farmer was found today by family and is safe tonight. She was reported missing after she left a doctor's appointment yesterday morning.
America is the place to do business. So come to America, where you can innovate, create, and build.
President Donald Trump meets with world leaders today in Switzerland, the World Economic Forum. The president says he is working to create new and competitive trade deals for the U.S. with other countries. He says it's a great time to invest in the U.S. due to his tax bill and efforts to cut regulations. President Trump is the first sitting president to attend that forum since Bill Clinton did back in 2000. And President Trump also denies a new New York Times report that he wanted to fire special counsel Robert Mueller. The newspaper reports the president ordered Mueller be fired back in June. He backtracked after White House lawyer Don McGahn threatened to quit. Mueller is reportedly wanting to interview the president as part of his investigation into whether or not his campaign and Russia colluded back in the 2016 election. In an ABC 17 News public health alert tonight, the Columbia Boone County Health Department tells ABC 17 News it has given out about 50 flu vaccinations a week. There have been 1,900 cases of the flu reported in Boone County this season. The CDC says every state except for Hawaii continues to battle the virus. So far, there have been at least 37 infants or children die from the flu this season.
Coming up on ABC 17 News at 9 on Fox 22 KQFX, where the news comes first.
An investigation continues after a home break-in in South Columbia. We'll tell you how the homeowner knew something was wrong. And after U.S. Rep's office is threatened this week, we are speaking with Capitol Police about what it takes to keep state and other employees safe. Investigators are working to find out what caused a train to derail in southwest Missouri today. The derailment happened this morning in Bates County. That is about an hour south of Kansas City. Now, according to Highway Patrol, at least 23 cars came off the tracks. No one was hurt in that derailment. 5 men accused of stealing hundreds of guns in Springfield now face federal charges. Federal prosecutors say the suspects were indicted this week on 2 federal gun charges. The men are being held in Texas, awaiting extradition to Missouri. Investigators say the men stole around 650 guns that were delivered to Bass Pro Shops from a UPS lot back in October. None of the guns have been recovered. We are looking into government security policies after a man is accused of threatening 2 offices. We told you today prosecutors charged Jeffrey O'Loughlin with making a terroristic threat to staff at a state building and to U.S. Representative Vicky Hartzler's Columbia office. ABC 17's Lucas Geiser joins us now live in studio. And Lucas, her staff actually went back to work there today.
Yeah, Joey, Columbia police say the staff actually had to close down the office on Wednesday after an Ashland man allegedly threatened to, quote, put people in the grave, end quote, if they didn't take his complaint seriously. Tonight, I asked state leaders how they handle these threats. Work at Representative Vicky Hartzler's Columbia office was cut short on Wednesday. Columbia police say 55-year-old Jeffrey O'Loughlin of Ashland called in and threatened to hurt staff there. An officer's statement says O'Laughlin believes someone put a transmitter in his tooth filling, and he wanted Hartzler to look into the issue. If they didn't, police said he would, quote, use gunpowder and put some people in the grave, end quote. O'Laughlin is also wanted in Cole County. Capitol Police say he threatened to shoot people at the professional registration building about the same issue.
But there are always training and knowledge that needs to be shared with people about what to do with any threat.
Mike O'Connell, a spokesman for the Department of Public Safety, says Capitol Police works closely with staff at state buildings. The Capitol complex is made up of 47 buildings in Jefferson City, and the department coordinates with each on public safety.
Capitol Police are going to work with the employees and the leadership of any building to figure out what is the best way, combining surveillance, patrols in cars coming into the building.
Each department also handles customer service training for its frontline staff, but O'Connell says violent behavior would get its own tailored response depending on the building. Police say O'Laughlin also threatened the state Supreme Court on Wednesday as well after the call to Vicky Hartzler's office. Now, Representative Hartzler's spokeswoman told me that police are now handling the situation.
Lucas, thank you. O'Laughlin is not yet in custody, but a judge has already ordered a $50,000 cash bond once he is. He's also not allowed to contact Representative Hartzler nor her staff. An investigation continues after police respond to a home in South Columbia last night. It happened around 8 o'clock in the 500 block of Southampton. According to police, the owner was in Kansas City when she saw someone breaking into her home. Investigators say the suspect was gone before officers arrived. So far, no arrests have been made. Anyone with information about that burglary is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 875-TIPS or Columbia Police. A hearing is scheduled for next month for a Columbia man accused of harassing a woman. Britton Allen is expected to appear in court on February 5th. Police say the victim told officers she met Allen on a dating app and that he left her threatening messages. Allen is charged with felony first-degree harassment. In an ABC 17 News traffic alert, bridge work will continue on Highway 54 in Callaway County next week. MoDOT says it expects to shift eastbound drivers near Fulton to the westbound passing lane on Wednesday. Right now, crews are working on expected improvements to bridges at Richland Creek, Ozark Valley Railroad, and over Business Highway 54. The westbound off-ramp to Business Highway 54 is closed to drivers. The Columbia Public Library also expects to close next week. ABC 17 is told the closure will take place Tuesday morning. Columbia Water and Light crews plan to work on a water line outside the library, which will cut off the water supply to the building. The library says it hopes to open back up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The investigation continues after a deadly school shooting in Kentucky. We'll let you know what investigators know so far coming up.
Well, we do have some winter weather returning over the next week with a couple snow chances. I'll show you when, and track Sunday's snow coming up next. Stay tuned. Well, over the past couple of days, we've had some pretty nice temperatures as we've been in those 60s, but we are looking at some changes the next 3 days. First, with the light showers that move in tonight, and then we even have a chance of some light snow Sunday night, followed by some pretty cold air for Monday as we stay in the low 30s. Today turned out to be pretty nice, though. This is a look over the Lake of the Ozarks at noon today, and our time lapse showing those clouds coming back in this afternoon. Those have been thickening up, and those will lead to that chance of rain tonight. And although it's dry now, we'll pick up a little bit of rain overnight, and then we will see the clouds moving out early tomorrow morning. Temperatures right now are at 55 degrees at the Lake of the Ozarks. It was nice today. We hit 60 degrees in Sedalia, currently only at 55. Very mild night out there, 56 at Columbia after hitting 62 degrees today. Tonight's a little colder. We have a cold front going through, and that's going to cool us down by morning into the 30s. We have a chance of some light rain showers and those winds continuing to die down out there tonight. The rainfall from this is going to be very light. This is Rain Tracker showing the potential rainfall amounts. And notice, some areas will even be dry, being completely missed by the rain to our north and west. There's a better chance if you live south of Highway 54 of picking up anything measurable, and we're looking at the potential of a 1/4 inch right along Interstate 44 from this. So the weekend forecast looks good. Tomorrow we have lots of sunshine in the forecast and mild temperatures. Should be closer to 39 this time of year. We're reaching into the low to mid 50s tomorrow with plenty of sun, and we'll also have much lighter winds than we did today. And then tomorrow night we're going to watch some cold air move in behind a second cold front, and that's going to bring with it that chance of snow. This is 6 o'clock Sunday evening, and notice for the end of the weekend here we have this little band of snow that starts to move south with that front between 9 at night all the way into the early morning hours. This is midnight Sunday night and into Monday morning. Now I don't think the snow will be coming down for the morning commute, but there could be a little bit left on the ground. Preliminary snow trackers showing we have the potential of a narrow stripe of 1 inch right through here, and then we're looking at the potential for a little bit more right here. We could see 1 inch and then a dusting in other locations. So we might get some minor snow accumulations out of this before it's all said and done. Next week on Thursday, notice that temperature drop again after a couple mild days, and we do have a chance we'll see some snow Thursday late in the day, but there's high uncertainty with that right now as we could see the system going farther south of us. Nevertheless, just something to watch with us as we track it through the week.
Sharon, thank you.
Sure.
Kentucky High School is back open after a deadly shooting earlier this week. Police have taken a 15-year-old boy into custody. He's charged with murder and attempted murder of the shooting. 2 students were killed. 18 others were hurt in that attack. Police have not released a motive in this case yet. USA Gymnastics confirms today the entire board of directors will resign. It comes after former sports doctor Larry Nassar pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting hundreds of young women. He was sentenced to up to 175 years in prison this week. At least 4 of the victims include Olympic gymnasts. The U.S. Olympic Committee will also require USA Gymnastics staff and board members to complete training over the next 6 months. Lawyers for Bill Cosby say they hope to have sexual assault charges against him dismissed. His legal team claims misconduct by prosecutors and a lack of evidence in the case. If you recall, the comedian is expected to be retrialed. He's accused of drugging and assaulting a woman more than 10 years ago at his home. A mistrial was declared in his last trial after the jury couldn't come to a verdict. We want to take you back now to the breaking news we have been following tonight. Our crews are still on the scene of Jewel and Benton in Columbia, where police had a house surrounded and were putting up police tape before bringing in the Bearcat. ABC 17's Alyssa Toomey saw it all going down and joins us live there now. Alyssa, police have taken somebody into custody.
Yes, Joey, they took someone into custody within the last 45 minutes or so, but police are still on scene right now. So I'm going to step out of the way so you can get a better look at what is happening right now. Most of the officers have cleared out of this scenario and out of this situation right now, but it looks like there are still some officers up in the 3rd story of that home that you see there. It is a 3-story home, and that door that is open there is where the suspect came out of about 45 minutes ago, and police are still searching that 3rd floor. So we have heard some murmurings here that police are possibly looking for a gun. They had believed that the suspect had a gun. We haven't been able to confirm that, but we do know right now that when police got on scene, they were first called here for a domestic disturbance just before 5:30. When they got on scene, they had heard that the suspect could be armed, and they heard what sounded like the suspect racking a shotgun. That's when they stepped back, called the SWAT team in. After about an hour or so, maybe more than that, of negotiations, the suspect came out of the top floor of that home, the 3rd story of that home. Like I said, there wasn't any sort of violent confrontation with police. He came out, it was peaceful, and the residents in the area, they know this man. He is known to residents in the area. I just spoke with a resident, in fact, who tells me that she has actually called police on him multiple times. She said the last time was on the 4th of July, and she tells me that he actually set the grass on fire. I'm going to have all of those latest developments, new information from witnesses coming up on ABC 17 News at 10. Live in Columbia, Alyssa Toomey, ABC 17 News.
All right, Alyssa, we'll continue to check in with her with any developing details throughout the night here and also over on KMIZ.
Sports Zone starts now. Sponsored by U.S. Cellular.
Breaking news tonight, Mizzou has suspended junior guard Terrence Phillips indefinitely. Mizzou released a statement tonight saying, quote, Phillips' future status with the program will be determined in coordination with campus and department leadership. It's still unclear what policy Phillips violated to get himself suspended, but his absence will sure be felt tomorrow night when the Tigers take on Mississippi State. Mizzou down to just two main ball handlers, Jordan Geist and Cassius Robertson. Now, this suspension comes as a surprise to many. Head coach Conzo Martin has praised the junior guard multiple times this year for his leadership, despite seeing a decreased amount of playing time. Phillips is averaging just 3 points in 11 minutes per game this season. Well, tonight we're still waiting to hear from Aaron Earlywine. I reached out to the Tigers' former softball coach earlier today, but he has not returned my message. This morning, Athletic Director Jim Sterk fired Earlywine, leaving many with lots of questions, mainly why now, just 2 weeks before the season starts. In Sterk's statement, he cites concerns about the culture in the softball program. You may remember in the spring of 2016, there were complaints against Coach Earlywine. The university launched an investigation, but ultimately, Earlywine was able to keep his job. A year and a half later, though, his time at Mizzou is now over. Earlywine coached the Tigers for 11 seasons, compiling nearly 500 wins. He took the softball team to 11 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances and went to 3 Women's College World Series. Now, I've heard from several Mizzou softball players today. Most of them expressed their support for Earlywine and anger with Sterk's decision. A few of them made their comments public on Twitter. Former shortstop Corinne Genovese says, with the news of Coach E's firing, if I'm a current player, I would want to know details on a free release to transfer and play immediately. Former outfielder Emily Crane, I've always will support Coach E. He made me the player I am today, and without him, I would never achieve what I did. Sad, sad day for Mizzou softball. Big mistake. Current outfielder Reagan Nash, bit of a different tone. She posted a picture with Coach E and a quote from Walt Disney saying, times and conditions change so rapidly that we must keep our aim constantly focused on the future. I last spoke to Coach E back in October. He told me how his coaching style had changed over the years, and you can watch that conversation on our website, abc17news.com. More Mizzou. The 17th ranked gymnastics team goes down tonight on the road to 7th ranked Alabama. The Crimson Tide win the meet by less than 1 full point. On to high school hoops, the undefeated Rockbridge Bruins played their first home game of the calendar year tonight. It's about time. RB hosted Hogan Prep. Bruins looking to get to 17-0. It was junior Jamonte Black's birthday, but Hogan Prep played tough in this one. Here, DeJuan Harris, though, getting a nice layup, 10 points for him. Bruins, though, down by 6. Final minute of the first, good ball movement. Noah Patrick in the corner knocks down the triple. Bruins down 6 after the first. Second quarter, Isaiah Mosley to the birthday boy, Jamonte Black for 3. But Rockbridge loses its first game of the year, 66-57. High school scoreboard time, Smith Cotton boys blow out Eldon, 52-18. Fulton gets by Moberly, 68-61. Blair Oaks, big win over Lynn, 68-44. Tolton goes down 55-42 to Republic. Hullsville improves to 17-1 after a 90-73 win over California and Mexico. Winner tonight, 61-59 over Boonville. And that is a look at sports.
Andrew, thanks.
We'll have a little bit of rain late tonight, and then tomorrow it's dry. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, and more clouds Sunday with a chance of snow Sunday night.
Thank you, Sharon. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.